Hey Josh, it's Friday. And first off, to answer your question from this week, no, I haven't watched it. I think you've mentioned it in previous videos. I haven't watched it. I don't. So, yeah. That was an easy, easy one to answer. But so, I actually have a topic in mind again for once. That's 2 videos in a row. That's a new record. But so I got to thinking the other day about a lot of people see it's Star Wars in honor of Star Wars Day this weekend. So, oh, I'm sorry, Misty. She tried to hop up right as I dropped my arm. Anyway, so something that I've heard a lot of people mention and like a bit of a complaint about the Clone Wars, the Dave Filoni Clone Wars, not Genndy, whatever his last name is, Clone Wars. A big complaint that I hear from a lot of people is that the Anakin in the Clone Wars does not feel like the Anakin that we have in Episode 3. Definitely not Episode 2. I'm not arguing about Episode 2 right here, because Episode 2 is not a great depiction of any of the characters. But a lot of people view that, or a lot of people have issues or take issue with the Clone Wars because Anakin really doesn't feel like how he is in the movies. But I'm here to argue that the first act of Episode 3 is very much the same Anakin that we see in the Clone Wars. So a big thing in like a big character arc in general of Anakin is obviously that he is incredibly cocky and feels like and is very what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, but he's very cocky and very full of himself. I think is he overestimates his abilities a lot. And in the Clone Wars, yeah, he overestimates his abilities a lot. However, he does usually make it out usually by the skin of his teeth. But yeah, the first, especially during the space fight, he very much feels like the Anakin from Clone Wars, very sure of himself, very like he takes a commanding lead. He really, like, at least, it has been a little while since I've watched Episode 3, admittedly, but just from, it's Episode 3, I've watched it so many times that I could probably quote it, and we've seen all the memes, you could probably quote it word for word. But yeah, during the space fight and the subsequent storming of the Invisible Hand, very much feels like the Anakin that we got in the Clone Wars, where he is like him and Obi-Wan are going back and forth constantly. Very like he knows what he's doing, and the moment that things change is when he finds out that Padme is pregnant, and his entire viewpoint changes. And I can't speak for it personally. It hasn't happened to Tori and I yet, but I'm sure you can attest. That's a scary process when that happens, and I'm sure if you were in Anakin's situation during that time, like if you were having stress dreams, basically, I'm not sure if you were or not, but like stress dreams of your significant other passing away during childbirth and finding out that your significant other, hey, I'm pregnant, like that would be scary, and you would probably do whatever you thought was right. I mean, I'm not saying killing younglings is correct. Like, I'm not going that far. That's a little bit of his youthfulness coming out in there, because you got to remember, Anakin in Episode 3 is what, 23 years old? Like, I remember when I was 23, I was a mess. But like, I just got to thinking about it, and it's just like, yeah, during the first act of Episode 3, he very much he does very much feel like Clone Wars Anakin, very much feels like the Anakin that we expected during the original. Well, I shouldn't say we were born. We didn't get into Star Wars until after the original trilogy, but the Anakin that Ben Kenobi speaks of very much feels like the Anakin that we get specifically in the first act of Episode 3. Again, Episode 2, I'm not counting that right now. He was 19 years old. He was edgy. Like, let's be honest. Like, we all were that bad. I'm not trying to excuse murdering and genocide, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't 100% know what got me to the thinking about this the other day, but like, the turning point, like I said, was after Anakin found out Padme was pregnant, that they were expecting kids, and the idea that, I mean, again, you also have to keep in mind the fact that both Anakin and Padme have very stressful lives, on top of hiding the fact that they had hiding their marriage, and then now hiding the fact that they're having children. Like, there was a lot of layers on there that I feel like really, I don't necessarily want to say justifies Anakin's turn to the dark side, but definitely can make you understand his turn to the dark side a little more. Because again, like, Anakin has always been the type of person that wants to protect the people that he cares about. The person that he cares the most about would be Padme, and now they're presumably at the time only one child. Obviously, we know that it was twins, because Luke and Leia. But like, for them at the time, it's just like, that's sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. But yeah, just like, the fact that he will do whatever it takes to protect his family at whatever cost to his own personal well-being is something that I think a lot of people can sort of understand. Like, I don't really know. I feel like I keep going around in circles, but yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I got to thinking of the other day. But yeah, again, I'm not excusing the killing of younglings. Obviously, that is a step. I think asking anyone, that's a step too. Any sane person, that's a step too far. But and like killing agreeing to kill the Jedi, or like all the Jedi. I can't really that's still a little kind of iffy, but that could also just be, for lack of a better term, Palpatine gaslight gatekeep girl bossing him in a way. Oh god, that's a terrible thought. Anyway, but yeah, I do. It's a bit of a cop-out answer with that part, but I do feel as though that's probably the reason that he kind of went that way. So I am running a bit long here, so Josh, my question for you is, coming from someone who is a parent of an actual human being and not just cats, do you feel as though his turn is a little more understandable than a lot of people tend to say? And secondly, would you agree that the first act of, the first act of Episode 3, Anakin Skywalker, definitely feels very similar, or I shouldn't say very similar, but is you can or like the Clone Wars Anakin definitely feels like the Anakin that we got in the first part there. So that'll do for this video. So Josh, I will see you on Tuesday. Later, bro.